everybody. Welcome back to episode number 10 of my hardcore series. Um, so sad news, all of my recording files corrupted. That's right. I'll show you a clip of one that I was actually able to get back. It's only 10 seconds though, so here it is now. As you can see in this recording, all these chunks are just not loaded in for whatever reason, and I tried this multiple times, and this was the best I got. Was at least me doing just moving around. This was actually the time lapse for my iron farm, but obviously, as you can see, it's not there. So I figure rather than do a time lapse, I should go around and explain everything that I've done. Obviously, you can already see one difference, which is the fact that I have netherite tools. Another fact is that I went and I got a lot of wither skeleton skulls in order to get 3 beacons, so I got 9 in total. And that actually surprisingly, I must have been like extremely lucky this day, because it only took me 40 minutes to get 9 skeleton skulls. However, there is a problem now with the nether to where it will crash my computer if I go there. So I'm gonna have to fix a lot. I'm gonna have to fix a lot of things to do with that, because you know the nether is an integral part of this game. You have to go there to get a ton of stuff, and you know I went there to get a ton of ancient debris, and then I went to go make a system to make it easier for me to get to the end, but it just didn't work because it kept crashing. And then here's my industrial district. We made a gunpowder farm, which works really well. We have a beacon over here too. That I actually have a data pack on that extends the range of the beacons. So these are the beacons from over there, over by my normal base, so they're about to wear off, but the ones here are resistance and regeneration for this, so that if I'm AFKing and you know I start getting attacked and I don't immediately see it, I can at least act on it and not have to worry about dying. So that's why this one's here. Then we also built a sugarcane farm, which actually has been running pretty well, although I somehow broke some of the redstone, so there's a couple issues with it, but I will be fixing that. So we actually have quite a few stacks of sugarcane down here, and it's not even fully. I'm gonna be so honest with you guys. I AFK'd for like more than 7 hours straight. I AFK'd for multiple days for all of these things. So everything you're seeing is, yes, what I've worked on, but you know it is still kind of in the point where it's like, oh, I worked on this, except for the fact that that I have no proof. I have no recordings other than it existing. I have nothing. It's annoying. I spent so long making that, which I admittedly took a ton of gunpowder from there. Another thing about this data pack is that if there's a beacon somewhere, this area is constantly being loaded. So technically, actually, this sugarcane farm runs 24/7. While these don't run 24/7, this sugarcane farm does, which is insane. So that means even when I'm over at my normal base, I'm still getting a ton of stuff from the sugarcane farm. This is my iron farm, courtesy to Daggerfought for sending me the video that he uses in order to make this iron farm. I'll link it in the description down below, of course. But just to show you how much iron I get. Yeah, almost an entire double chest full, and that I think was from 2 days of AFKing, which is insane. So you know, obviously, take what I can get type of situation here. That's not all I've been doing though. I've also been working on a lot of stuff. I planned to get an episode out sooner, but I figured, you know what, try and combine them all into the same thing and to have a decent sized video, you know, of me actually showing off everything that I've been doing, and included the wither fights, but I ran out of or not ran out. I don't know what happened to that footage, actually. I don't even think it corrupted. I think I accidentally deleted it. But you're probably wondering, what's this for? So basically, if you remember, this was a pretty big hill. Essentially, I want it to cover the entrance to my base, but I don't want it to be as high as it was, because it was up there, which is in competition with that there. Which I am planning to shave this back a little bit, you know, make it more of a cliffside. And then that I don't know if I'm gonna destroy that mountain or just leave it, because honestly, ice is just a pain to get rid of, as well as powdered snow. So probably not going to do that. But this outline here is an outline for where I want the village to extend to. So that's going to be the end point of the village. However, along this side here, we're going to have a little subway. Yeah, sorry, I was kind of hesitant to say subway because there's a a sandwich place called Subway, so I was kind of confused. I kind of confused myself for a moment. But it's going to extend all the way across this area, which there will be buildings everywhere. Obviously not modern day buildings, but actual houses and everything built along this area here, especially along this side here. So this little area here I'm actually using as a cityscape. So this entire area here is going to be the city, and you know, it might obviously mix here and, you know, here, but I want it to be a pretty big city that you get to come and visit, because obviously when I die, I want other people to be able to come and, you know, visit the world and see everything that I've done, and obviously explore it. And you know, maybe even before I die, let them do that. But however, I will say that this again is not the only thing that I've done. I've actually done a whole lot more, and I'm about to go show you it. So I actually got a jump cut to it because I gotta go to the end, and like I said, the nether's not working. So whee! I don't believe I ever got to show this on camera, but this is actually the entrance to the end portal. Now, not the room itself, but you know, that's the stronghold. It's actually this way. I don't remember breaking that. Maybe a creeper broke it, but I'm not sure. And then there's this, which I don't know why I did that. Oh yeah, there's the nether portal that I was gonna build. But anyway, if we're looking at this from a different sort of standpoint, right around here is what I wanted to come and show off. It's a Enderman farm. So I actually spent a good long while on this, and I'm in fact going to music sound off, because this thing is so incredibly loud. I figure, you know what, let's just take care of this. So this actually is I built this myself. I didn't watch a video to build this, and I was so stumped because I was like, why do they keep dying? Because I know the distance. And then I realized I didn't put carpet down. Putting this 1 pixel of carpet saves them from death, except for the fact that it, you know, brings them to their death also, because they you know, get killed with a sword. But you know, it works. That's the main thing, is that it works. And you know, it heals up my tools very nicely, and it allows me the chance to come over here and blow off some steam, if you know what I'm saying. Because I lost all of my footage and I would really like to blow everything up, but since I cannot do that because this is a hardcore world, this is what I gotta do. I gotta make an entire generation of Endermen suffer for my gain, because that is what counts. Is that an entire generation of Endermen must suffer for me. Isn't that beautiful? It's like a poem. Except for it doesn't rhyme, and that's horrible, and it's murdering thousands of creatures that didn't do anything to me. Directly, anyway. Didn't directly do anything to me. And you know what? I'm not even stopping, because my tools might be fully repaired. It might be all good and everything, but you know what? I want my XP bar to go up. You know, you could just die. Thank you. Sorry. One moment, folks. But anyway, here we are. This is my nice Enderman farm that I built out of stained glass because, you know, I did it out of specifically lime stained glass because I kind of wanted it to resemble like XP, and also I had a ton laying around, and so I figured, you know what, it looks good. I think I like the way it looks. Like, I like the fact that in my mind it resembles actually getting XP. So yeah, we can get XP at the XP colored farm, and it's so big and it's so vast. You know, we got our little endermite up here. Took me forever to get that dude, but you know, we have him. We have him, and that's the main thing. That is the main thing. Also, the end flashes I think are pretty cool. Now, obviously, there are some things that I don't like about it. Like, I don't like how overwhelming the actual lighting is on an end flash. But, you know, when did I take a screenshot? Okay. But, you know, I think there's much more worse things that can happen. Obviously, right now, my computer is struggling a little bit because of the fact that these beacons are constantly loading areas. Like, this one's constantly loading this area. It's not even really loading anything here, just other than the terrain. But that area over there is constantly being loaded. So, I actually think if I were to, throw my render distance up real quickly, you can, excuse me, you can actually see it from here, but you can't even see the beacon beam, and that's 32 chunks. And now we're going back to 16. However, I'm not going to be doing any time lapses in this episode. I think it's pretty much going to be a raw footage episode because of the fact that I lost everything. And, you know, it's obviously not very fun for me to do these kinds of videos because I like to do time lapses, and it's very obvious throughout my entire history of creating videos that I've always done a time lapse. I've always, in the beginning of the episode, I've always done a time lapse. I've always figured, you know, we set it up this way where we do the first half of the video real time, then we do a quote-unquote intermission type situation where it's a time lapse, because you can always skip over it. Not many people do skip over it, but the people that do skip over it, you know, they can always skip over it. So treat it like an intermission, and then the rest of the video is in real time. But if I'm not able to do that, then I kind of feel upset about it, which is fine. But another thing that I've been working on is still my storage room that I still, again, plan to have a big storage system in. And as you can probably tell, I've been in here every now and again, and I've just been excavating this. I've just been removing it and destroying it so that I can actually fit my storage system in here, which is nothing short of an exhausting project. It really is something that you really have to take a lot of time to work on and a lot of like focus to do, and I don't want it to be the forefront either, but I also don't want it to be a background type thing. I want it to be, okay, this is my base, okay, so we're doing this in my base, and we're not just doing the outside where we're making it look pretty and making it look like a city, but we're also doing the inside where we're working hard on completing everything to do with that, which obviously, you know, I can go on and on and on and explain what I have in mind for this, but to be completely honest, this episode was supposed to straight up just be industrializing and getting a ton of stuff done that I should have gotten done way earlier in the series, just because it would have just made everything a whole lot easier in the end game. I would have been able to collect materials a whole lot faster. I would have been able to do all this stuff with much more ease than I have been able to. But again, don't have the footage. So, it's kind of disappointing to me. And it's not fun when that happens. And especially because it's been happening so frequently for me. I personally have been working really hard to try and keep making these videos, which, again, I haven't lost motivation, but every single time you record something and you spend hours doing something and you record it with the expectation of showing it off, and that thing just gets lost forever and you don't get to show it. You don't get to show it off. The only thing you get to show off is the finished project. You don't get to show the hardships and the work leading up to it. You don't get to show everything that you've done, the progress, where you went from 0 to it's 100% done, 0% done to 100% done. You don't get to show that off. And so when you get to a point where you're dreading even recording because you don't have anything, you have the ability to really say, hey, this is something I am proud to show off me doing. Especially for me, because I personally like to show it off as I'm doing it, like in time-lapse form. But for this particular case, the only thing I get to show is the finished product. And sometimes the finished product isn't what you think it will be, and sometimes the finished product isn't what you want it to be. In fact, that's actually most of the time what happens. Especially for me, for somebody that over-considers every little detail and trying to make it as realistic as possible. It's very difficult when something that I've spent hours and hours and hours learning to do and putting together to make a video for it. It's just all wasted and gone for nothing. Then, there is that stump of creativity of like, I don't know what to do next. I don't know where to go from here. I'm worried that if I start recording again, I'm gonna lose it all again. And again and again and again. And that's really the main issue here. It's not just because I don't like editing, it's also because I don't want to accidentally lose all my recordings again, because it's happened at this point. This is like number 4, number 7, whatever, however many times I've lost recordings, and it's the toll. It's hard to, once that happens, to pick up the torch again and say, let's do something. Let's get something done. When everything you've worked hard on is just, nobody's gonna see it. Nobody's gonna know that it existed in the first place. But you have to go back and you have to show all these things and know that everything you worked hard to fit into your video is now no longer a portion of your video. And it's now just, this is what I did. I don't have anything to show me working on it. I hope you like that. But for me, it's especially disappointing because I don't like to make it seem like I'm not doing anything. Like I'm not working on things in the background. I have a life, and I have very little amounts of time to actually buckle down and record something because I'm always busy with work. Very rarely do I actually get the chance to record. especially in real time. Whereas a time lapse, I typically record a small section of it, then I come back and I do the next section, and then I come back and do the next section until it's done. But for real time recordings, I only get around 30-40 minutes a day, which isn't a lot, especially when you're trying to do all this whilst doing school, whilst working, and trying to figure out how you want to live your life. I think for the most part, I'm not done. But for the most part, me taking a break has not even been a break. It's been me working nonstop, but all the files just don't work. And that's a big toll on me. And it makes it really difficult to say, I want to keep going. But you know what? I want to say that I don't want to keep going, that I want to stop and think. But when I think about it, I haven't gotten anything out since November. And a little bit before December. So I can't say that because I haven't. It seems like I've been on a break this entire time. I think the main thing is I want to do this. I want to get everything done. I want to show off everything that I do. Except for the chances that I get to actually do that are pretty low, to say the least. I want to be able to get my videos out every other day, like I was able to. Ever since my computer broke back last year, it's been one problem after the other. Whether it be files corrupting, or just pieces of my equipment just stop working. It's been a real hard road to get to here, to get to where I am right now, able to even explain this. Sure, it's not a typical episode 10, and it's not like a very enjoyable episode 10, but I need to explain what exactly I have been struggling with. Why haven't I come out with anything? It's not at all because I don't want to. It's not at all because I'm not working on it. It's because all of the footage that I record has just gone to waste. It's all gotten corrupted somehow, and it's all not able to be used or even put into an editor or anything. And when I try and restore those files, it just doesn't work. Which leads me to where I am right now. Recording all of this in real time and showing off everything that I have done. Which again, like I said, is not something that I like to do. However, this episode is at least 20 minutes long because I don't want to release a 5-minute episode. But I also don't like releasing 20-minute episodes because you know what? They're short. When you watch a video, you don't watch a video because it's short. You watch a video to pass the time. You watch a video because you want to do something while you wait, or you just want to be entertained. So something short like a 20-minute video isn't very entertaining because it's not going to pass the time fast enough. I know this because I myself do this. The consumption rate compared to what people are able to put out is really low. And that's not anybody's fault other than, the fact that everybody is demanding more and more. So when you can't come out with things as quickly as everyone wants you to, and everything is set up to come out, then you fall off. People don't watch you anymore. And when you do record something and you do get something out, you get only like 20-something views on it. I would love to say that this isn't how it is, but this is how it is. You're either constantly creating, or you're not what is called a creator. I'm going to say thank you guys for watching this episode. Thank you for listening to me ramble on about how disappointed I was that I wasn't able to get any footage for this episode. And I sincerely hope that you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week, month, day, however long it takes me to come up with a new episode or anything. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you consider subscribing, because it really does help me stay motivated even when I lose my footage. So thank you guys for watching, and goodbye!